administrative regions, we are turning vast lands into vibrant communities, delivering house lots and keys to thousands of Guyanese families. We are laying the groundwork for the future, investing in the roads, bridges, and utilities that connects us. These efforts are a catalyst for change. We are igniting the construction sector, sparking thousands of new jobs and creating an environment that attracts investors. We are ensuring that our economy rises, every Guyanese life rises with it. Over the decades, Guyana's construction and housing sector has evolved significantly. From the early post-independent years to the expansion of structured housing development, the nation has steadily progressed. The early 2000s ushered in large-scale development along key corridors such as the East Bank of Demerara, with communities like Echo setting the stage for modern expansion. In the 2010s, initiatives such as the 1,000 Home Initiatives reinforced access to affordable home ownership. As time advanced, so did construction practices, from predominantly timbered structures to the increase of use of steel and concrete, alongside the introduction of prefabricated building options, enhancing durability, efficiency, and resilience. Since 2020, this development has accelerated through expanded housing programs, the rise of Silica City, the transformation of pathways to major highways, and a strategic vision for 2030 and beyond, focused on building sustainable, resilient, and well-connected communities throughout Guyana. This land is my land. This land is our land. Guyana, with its lush landscapes and vibrant communities, is dedicated to striving for a better life for all its people. It is crucial that we unite in our efforts to promote social cohesion, protect our diverse ecosystems, and preserve the rich cultural traditions that define our identity. By sharing our unique skills and talents, we can weave together a collective vision for development that not only enhances the prosperity of our nation, but also enriches the lives of every individual within it.
This land is the land of my birth. This is the land of my birth. And beautiful people. If you wanna feel free, this is the land of my birth. And beautiful people. And if you wanna feel free, this is where you should be. Yeah. So much gold and diamonds.
Thank you to our performers for that wonderful reminder of our journey. This is fine. All right. Many of you will remember that the International Building Expo was first launched in 2010 under the leadership of then Minister of Housing and Water, now President, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali. It was created to bring people together, contractors, suppliers, banks, investors, all under one roof to build a stronger Guyana. Even after its pause in 2015, the vision never died. Because great ideas don't fade, they wait. And in 2022, that vision was revived, bigger, stronger, and more relevant than ever. Today it stands as the largest building exposition, not just in Guyana, but the Caribbean, connecting Guyana to the region and the world. Now, to officially set the stage, please welcome Dr. Martin Pertab, Chief Executive Officer, Central Housing and Planning Authority.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ministers, members of the private sector, special invitees, colleagues, special good evening. As we celebrate 60 years of independence, this period shouldn't be marked by mere timing, but by transformation. Over the past 5 years, we have witnessed the rise of a nation that has continued to redefine what possible actually means. We have witnessed the allocation of over 50,000 house lots. We have seen the growth of the private sector by almost 100%. We have seen the growth in real estate mortgage loan from 90 billion to almost 185 billion, while at the same time we have seen the growth of the construction sector by almost 210% to 147 billion. Today, what we are witnessing here in Guyana is that today we have seen Guyana is considered one of the fastest growing economies in the world. And this is by no accident. We have seen the implementation of bold, visionary, and prudent policies over the past 5 years. And if you look at where Guyana was 5 years ago to now, Guyana was just an upper middle income country. And today, we are ranked one of the highest growing economy and a high income economy. But we all know growth doesn't necessarily mean development. But in Guyana's case, growth is conceptually development. We have seen currently the increase in affordable housing. We have seen the increase in opportunities for our youth. We have seen the development of safe and sustainable communities. But going forward, you know, the mission and the objective of Central Housing and Planning Authority over the next 5 years embedded what we intend to do. Over the next 5 years, we have made a commitment that we will be constructing over 40,000 houses. A commitment is clear for us to eliminate all illegal settlement. The commitment is clear for us to address the backlog in the demand of that application. A commitment has been made for us to expand the housing program. But we realize we can't do this by ourselves. No agency or government can do this by ourselves. We need our partners. We need to rely, especially on the private sector, the contractors, the suppliers, the financial institutions. All these major stakeholders are important for us to achieve, if we are to achieve as an agency to deliver on our mandate that I've just outlined. And here is where the Building Expo comes in. The Expo has been specifically geared to bring these key stakeholders together to showcase sustainable, affordable, and innovative construction solution. With that, having that being said, I'd like to welcome you to the launch of this expo, and going forward, we will want to continue working with each and every single major stakeholders that I've outlined. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Pratap. I did say we were celebrating Guyanese identity this afternoon, but before we get to our next cultural item, we will now hear from a key voice representing the private sector, because development is strongest when public and private forces move together. Please welcome Captain Gerald Gavaya Jr., Chairman of the Private Sector Commission.
Good afternoon, all. I'd like to recognize the ministers, Minister Kroll and Minister Ben. Thank you for the opportunity tonight. CEO of CHMPA, Dr. Martin Pratap, my Vice Chair and President, Kathy Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, before I really get started, I want you to do a thought exercise with me really quickly. If I gave you the opportunity to invest in a place like Dubai, but I told you that you're investing 20 years ago, who will do it? Most people, exactly. What if I told you that that place today is Guyana? And we have the opportunity now to invest here, today, in our country. We have the opportunity to build Guyana into the future that we want to see for our kids and grandchildren. And we have that opportunity today. And that's exactly what Building Expo is trying to, not even trying, but is executing as a signal from the country, both the government and the private sector, that we are confident, that we have the capacity, and that we know where Guyana is going. It is no secret that Guyana is experiencing one of the fastest growth in the world at the moment. Fastest growth in the Caribbean for sure. And we're also seeing for the first time that our non-oil GDP is outpacing our oil GDP. Now, what does that tell you? What should it tell you? It tells you that the opportunities are growing wider as well as they're growing deeper, which means that with opportunity comes pressure. It puts pressure on our labor force. It puts pressure on our labor materials, our systems, and our housing. It puts pressure on what we are able to achieve. And what this is showing me is that we're no longer just preparing for the growth. We are growing, and we are managing that growth in real time. And that is what Building Expo is really setting out to do. It is giving us the tools. It is giving us the network. It is giving us a supply chain so we can meet that pressure and we can create the Guyana that we all know in our heads of what we can become. So, as Dr. Pratap mentioned, the Building Expo here in Guyana has grown since 2012, I believe you said, and then reinvigorated in 2022. But what it is, it's a demonstration of where our country is shifting. And if you looked at that video, you should see three main things pop out to you immediately. The first is opportunity. Thousands of Guyanese are finally getting to be homeowners. That is creating wealth in the pocket of the average Guyanese. That is not by accident. You are seeing small businesses stepping up and taking on contracts, building the opportunities in their communities, and creating consortiums and partnerships to take advantage of larger and larger projects. That is not by accident. And you're finally starting to see families creating generational wealth and being able to pass on the benefits that we create today to future generations. The second thing that you should have seen in that video is innovation. Innovation in the sense that we're no longer just talking about wood and zinc and concrete. We're talking about new technologies, modular construction. We're talking about sustainable development, sustainable materials, and solutions designed for speed. Because if you listen to the government is not talking about doing 100 homes this year. They're talking about doing 8,000 homes every single year for the next 5 years. The only way that we can do that is with speed, efficiency, and resilience. And lastly, if you looked at the video, you will notice that the last thing that Building Expo is trying to push is participation. We want to see maximum participation by Guyanese across the country. We want to see maximum participation by businesses, small businesses, partnering with our regional partners, partnering with international companies to come together in one space right here in Guyana. We have to make sure that this is where the opportunity meets the execution to keep up with the pace that has been set by the minister and his team. And the private sector is what we are gearing up, what we have been gearing up to take advantage of. So, with all of that being said, as private sector chairman, I wanted to highlight a few things. And I must tell you that from the private sector, we are feeling that responsibility. We are understanding that the government can only do so much. The government can remove the taxes. They can create the framework for growth, but it is up to the private sector to execute that growth. It's up to the private sector to get it right and to make that vision become a reality. So, we have to be able to execute quickly and at scale. 8,000 homes per year is not a small task. And the only way that we can do that is if we come together as Guyanese people. We have to be able to build the Guyanese capacity. It can't always be we're going to be shipping in all of our building materials, we're going to be shipping in all of our tooling, our equipment, so on. We have to develop local capacity to start creating things locally, and that's where the private sector needs to start looking, is getting into the value added and the manufacturing spaces. And lastly, we have to build the opportunity to train and elevate Guyanese. We are going to have to start looking at upskilling more Guyanese into more advanced methods of construction, more advanced methods of keeping pace with this growth industry. So it's more about how do we come together and how do we start building capacity rather than just the sheer number of homes that we do. So I need to re-emphasize the fact that we in the private sector, we need to come together. We are forming consortiums as we speak to take advantage of these opportunities that's being laid out by the government. The government is showing us the way, and we have to come together as private sector and take advantage of it. So the opportunities are open. So for everyone here, the small contractors, the young professionals looking to getting into the field, the entrepreneur looking to start that business, and for the diaspora who is looking for a reason to return and invest, this is it. Building Expo is it. There's no more waiting for an opportunity. It's here, and the accessibility and the moment to take advantage of that opportunity is Building Expo. So I have to say thank you to the minister and your team for creating that opportunity for private sector. I'm urging the private sectors to continue to look for pathways of ownership, pathways of investment, and we together will build a stronger, more resilient Guyana. So with that, thank you, and Minister, once again, I applaud you and your team for pushing this initiative forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Gavayo. Very thoughtful admonishment there for the private sector, and I see our newly re-elected head of the GCCI, Cathy Smith, shaking her head there, so she's in agreement. Now we shift gears a bit, because what is building without the hands that make it happen? Please enjoy this musical presentation, Handyman by Calvin Burnett and the Happy Feet Dance Company.
What is it? I am a 'cause I'm a
the man say higher. If you want a mace, if you lay down brick, make sure that the mixture thick. A plumber fi lay down pipe by working day or night. Carpenter fi daily good, or even supply strong wood. A farmer fi plant my seed inside chick yard. I am it. Today I must get paid. Just check me resume, cause I's a man don't play. Oh yeah. Who give me no job? Susie. Who give me no work? Bradley. Who give me no job? Ashley. Cause I walk in. Who give me no job? Who give me no work? Who give me no job? Cause I walk in. Yes, I working hard. I come to work hard. Yes, I working hard. Cause I walk in. Yes, I working hard. I come to work hard. Yes, I working hard. Cause I walk in. Some people just want play lazy and not just like calling sick. But when it comes to this work and job, I just don't know when to quit. But if you check my calendar, my God, I book confidence. So if you want hire this handyman, well, I demand in a race. I am it. Today I must get paid. Just check me resume, cause I's a man don't play. Oh yeah, here we go. Who give me no job? Susie. Who give me no work? Randy. Who give me no job? Ashley. Cause I walk in. Who give me no job? Who give me no work? Who give me no job? Cause I walk in. I come to work hard. Yes, I'm working hard. I come to work hard. Cause I walk in. Yes, I'm working hard. I come to work hard. Yes, I'm working hard. Cause I walk in. Here we go. I come to work. I come to work. I come to work. Cause I walk in. I come to work. Hey, I come to work. I come to work. Cause I walk in. I am there. Today I must get paid. Oh yeah, just check me resume. Cause I's a man don't play. I come to work hard. Yes, I'm working hard. I come to work hard. Cause I walk in. Yes, I'm working hard. I come to work hard. Yes, I'm working hard. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our performers. A song by Guyanese dancers, and I hope our ministers at housing are listening because they're saying they're coming to work hard, and you could check their resume. Now we invite remarks from someone who plays a vital role in shaping housing policy and development in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, Minister within the Ministry of Housing, Vanessa Ben.
Thank you very much, Kurt. Good evening, everyone. I must say that following the act of Calvin Burnett and his dancers, it is really indeed a hard act to follow. But I hope that the thoughts and comments I share with you this evening will be engaging. And I thank them again and all the performers for being part of this evening's very simple event. So colleague Minister Colin Crowell, Permanent Secretary, Spupen, CEO of Central Housing and Planning, Dr. Pratap, all the heads of our agencies at departments at the Ministry and the CHNP, our wonderful team at the Ministry of Housing, ladies and gentlemen, members of the private sector, everyone, good evening, and thank you for being here with us. Indeed, as was already expressed, we are at the cusp of our country's 60th anniversary of independence. We are also at a time in the most transformative period in our country's development. I believe that perhaps just the run-up and the struggle for independence before 1966, when those times would have invigorated and engaged all Guyanese, that was perhaps the most exciting time. And the second most exciting time, perhaps in my mind, is this period now, when we are amongst the fastest growing economies in the world. So this Building Expo, the International Building Expo about which we speak, is conceptualized to showcase the transformative development of our country. Focus is placed on the rapid growth in our housing sector, in the program which is geared to meet the needs of our own fellow Guyanese, while at the same time catering for the commercial expansion in all the sectors across our country's development. Our ministry's program and projects have widened over the years to include construction of some sectors even of the road networks, which primarily service the new housing schemes that we are building and really significantly reduce the travel times for persons going to school, taking their children to school, to work, businesses, hospital, whatever endeavor in which they're engaged. The program and projects of our ministry are particularly also aligned with main national trusts, one of which is the Urban Development Program for Georgetown, which we'll see, and I hope you appreciate the efforts of our staff and the contractors who have helped us, including Impressions, in putting together the decor here today, because integrated in our work is a lot of emphasis on beautification and the revitalization and restoration of our dear city, Georgetown, and the other communities in which our fellow Guyanese live and thrive. But our ministry's work program is also aligned with the Low Carbon Development Strategy, the LCDS 2030, which is a national policy, our national policy, that is geared towards ensuring that the manner in which development occurs in our nation is in a sustainable way, and that we not only take care of our natural resources, but our development practices, the manner in which budgets are developed, and the rollout of the various programs not only take into consideration our current population, but also those who will follow. And so integrated into our work is urban planning and designs, which are developed to ensure the preservation and restoration of our architectural, our environmental, our historical, and cultural heritage. As I mentioned, the green spaces and recreational areas that are part of this urban development program for Georgetown and the beautification of the communities. But a lot of emphasis on the integration of eco-friendly construction practices are also being high on our agenda. And whilst we do indeed see an increase in construction with the use of steel and cement, the Ministry of Housing Work Program also is receptive and supportive of sustainable development, which includes the use of our own timber species. As a matter of fact, recognizing that at least 25,000 of our fellow Guyanese are directly employed by the forestry sector, and that timber that is produced from our sustainably managed forests, for which we are internationally recognized, and for which our country so far has earned almost $1 billion for the sale of those forest carbon credits. I wanted to reinforce the point that the expansion of the housing program in Guyana, the improvement and extension of our road networks, and indeed the growth of commercial activity in our country is not at the expense of our proud climatic credentials. It is within this context, dear friends, that these valued principles and aspirations are the basis of the 2026 International Building Expo, which this year is being convened under the theme Guyana at 60, Building Strong Foundations for a Sustainable Future. This exposition truly presents a platform for current and aspiring homeowners to have a first-hand assessment of the products and services that are available for their homes and to engage with various service providers, even including those within the banking and insurance companies who are well equipped to provide answers to the questions and concerns related to financing and coverage. But also, the expos, successive expos are still also a place for small entrepreneurs. And I dare say, whilst one might think that the expo is just with regard to the products persons sell, the construction of homes, and addressing the issues and concerns of persons who are still waiting, it is also an opportunity not only for business, but for employment. Because the more and more as we speak of the expansion and the growth of our housing program, and the fact that our ministry and our government has set a target of building at least 40,000 homes within this 5-year period, it means that we need more architects, more surveyors, more carpenters, more masons, more plumbers. And indeed, this expo will present and has always presented opportunities for these persons to come and speak about their skills and services and to engage. So I invite and encourage the participation of exhibitors, sponsors, more performers, including Calvin and his team, visits and participation of not only Guyanese here, but international partners, development partners, persons who have businesses already operating in Guyana and who have an interest in being part of this transformative portion of our country's history and being able to provide some of those goods and services which we need. We are grateful for the efforts of our staff at the Ministry of Housing and the Central Housing and Planning Authority for the continued commitment and hard work, not only for today's event or media launch, but also in the run-up to the Building Expo, the International Building Expo, which will be held soon, and which I leave the honor and privilege of our minister to announce the date, but you probably already know. Because I believe it's up on the screen behind me. So dear friends, I encourage you to partner with us, to collaborate with us, to come with us, to share the word, to encourage persons to exhibit, to showcase their products and services. Because our intent, our drive, our mission, our work program is geared towards ensuring we are truly building a vibrant and resilient future for our beloved Guyana. As we usher in the 60th anniversary of our country's independence anniversary, and as we build a stronger foundation for our future. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. And as we celebrate the progress that we've made in housing in the International Building Expo, we're also celebrating the progress we've made as a country, Guyana, at 60. Now we take a visual walk through time, a presentation that reflects our national story, our struggles, our triumphs, and our progress. Please enjoy the costume display, The Journey, Celebrating 60.
Never seen no one like you. What I mean is, you stole my heart from the day I met you. Oh gosh, can you tell about you? No, when they ask me, now where you're from, you look so appealing. Hey, that's when I say, from the land I could heal healing. With sweet medicine, don't really know. Take a trip in the market, anything you want, you can find it right there. Don't worry about asking, anytime from the boat that you space. Don't mind the water, take a sip, take a bit after. I know you want the adventure, you want it, you can find it right there. Listen, everybody, it's Guyana we from. We all live as one, mixing only culture to bright up Guyana. Listen, everybody, it's Guyana we from. We all live as one, mixing only culture to bright up Guyana. We all live in unity, together we will rise, together we will shine. We all live in unity, together we will rise, together we will shine. Mixing only culture to bright up Guyana. Come down to Guyana and see all her beauty. Hey, come down to Guyana and see all her beauty. One people, one nation, one destiny. I am a Guyanese, you can't never stop me. Anywhere I go, I represent my country. Bring out everybody to celebrate now. We all in the crowd, mixing only culture to bright up Guyana. Listen, everybody, it's Guyana we from. We all live as one, mixing only culture to bright up Guyana. We all live in unity, together we will rise, together we will shine. We all live in unity, together we will rise, together we will shine. Mixing only culture to bright up Guyana. This is the land with so many waters.
Thank you very much to our talented participants. And I'm sure you will all agree that we've made exceptional progress in housing over the last 60 years, especially over the last 5 years. And to tell you more about that, we'll invite the man at the helm of housing in Guyana, Minister of Housing, Honorable Colin Crowe.
Thank you very much, Kurt. I almost pulled up Vanessa there for us to dance, and then she reminded me we already won the medium band category at the last smash, right? So we've conquered as usual.
Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Thursday, March 26, 2026. I'm Rhiannon Nakram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Guyana has formally objected to reported charges on the Quarantine River, warning they could disrupt trade and strain ties with Suriname. Business leaders in Linden say the Linden-Lethem Road link could transform trade, logistics, and investment opportunities for the town. A new off-port bonded warehouse is set to change how cargo is stored and cleared in Guyana. And a murder verdict in Demerara sparked celebration, anger, and heartbreak after 3 accused walked free and 1 was convicted. Guyana is formally protesting to Suriname over new charges on the use of the Quarantine River, warning the move could disrupt trade and strain relations. In a statement, President Irfan Ali says the fees, which reportedly affect timber and quarry operators, are troubling development with serious implications for business. He confirmed that Georgia has raised its concerns with Paramaribo in a spirit of dialogue and mutual respect, and is now awaiting a response. The president cautioned that the charges could create new barriers to cross-border trade, undermine investor confidence, and impact companies that depend on predictable and fair operating conditions along the river. He also pointed to Ghana's long-standing openness to Suriname's businesses, noting they have operated here without restriction. Ali is urging Suriname to reconsider the measures, stressing the importance of reciprocity and warning that the issue could affect cooperation between the two countries. He added the Caribbean River has long been managed through careful diplomacy and should remain a shared space for mutual benefit. President Irfan Ali says Ghana's laws governing trade and property may need to be updated to keep pace with the country's rapidly expanding economy. Speaking Tuesday at the launch of the revised laws of Guyana, the president said the country is entering a new phase of development, one that requires a legal framework that is modern, practical, and investor-ready.
One of the things that we definitely would have to address, and this has to do with my initial comment, the law as it relates to trade and property. A lot of our investments and investors are now coming from this hemisphere. A lot of, for example, US investments and investors. And our law heavily based on a British system. The arbitration component of the laws and where it's governed, AG, we have seen this. More and more, these are becoming critical points of negotiations.
The president emphasized that Ghana's new stock of investors requires the country to analyze their portfolios and develop a framework that is relevant to the country's development.
Investors, whether from the US, from the UK, from the Middle East, the portfolio, or investors and investment portfolio is changing. And the laws governing their operation are somewhat different. So these are the new challenges that Guyana would have to pilot as we move forward.
The president insisted that as Guyana updates relevant legislation, it boosts investor confidence, allowing them to conduct their business with clarity and predictability. Business leaders in Linden say the Linden-Latham Road link could unlock major economic opportunities for the town and strengthen Ghana's trade connection with Brazil. The project is already making visible progress, with 100 kilometers of the 110-kilometer stretch from Linden to Buburo now completed. President of the Linden Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Lyndon Young, says the road could take Linden business potential to another level.
It's something that we welcome. That development and that connectivity will bring so much business to Linden. Development of the two sides of the road and those plot of lands there can be commercially viable for development. I think it's going to transform our region to a next level.
Young added that improved infrastructure and the town's strategic location could allow Linden to play a greater role in trade between Guyana and Brazil, with growing possibilities for services and commerce. Advisor to the Chamber, Victor Fernandez, also welcomed the project, describing it as a transformative initiative that will enhance and strengthen economic activity across several sectors.
Put Linden in a position where we can improve and develop in the area of trade and businesses, because Brazil, we have quite a lot of services as well in offer through connection that can bring a tremendous benefit to Linden, and Linden also could act as a hub.
Fernandez explained that the improved road network will also reduce transportation challenges faced by businesses and commuters. More than 23,000 speeding tickets issued across Guyana have already been paid as police intensify enforcement and warn repeat offenders that tougher penalties are on the way. According to Traffic Chief Mahendra Singh, speeding remains one of the biggest threats on the road. And with more cameras, patrols, and digital monitoring now in use, drivers are increasingly being tracked and ticketed. He explained that drivers who fail to pay their tickets are being taken before the courts, where penalties include fines, reprimands, or license suspension, particularly for repeat offenses.
Each week, we have more than 20 to 30 persons who are charged and placed before the court. This factors the Georgetown Magistrates Court, the Sparenda Magistrates Court, and courts along the east bank of the Marara. Now, as much as we make the cases based on the establishment of the offense and they are presented in court, the outcomes are naturally reprimand and discharge and or a fine associated or suspension of license based on the multiplicity with which one driver is associated with commission of the offense.
Singh, however, noted that despite increased enforcement, driver behavior continues to be a concern, with speeding and reckless overtaking still contributing to accidents. He also warned that the long-anticipated demerit point system will soon take effect. Under the system, drivers who accumulate too many violations could be disqualified from driving, even if their tickets have already been paid.
The demerit point system, which we will put into practicality or into operability very soon, I'd like to tell you that the law speaks to persons who would have paid their ticket, and the method by which we will progress now to notify the licensing authority of those who would have made themselves eligible for suspension or disqualification for a specific period based on the number of tickets attributed to that offender and would have been paid already.
Police are urging motorists to slow down, obey the law, and drive responsibly, warning that the era of routine speeding without consequence may soon be over. When returned, a major logistics investment opens new possibilities for importers. Public servants welcome digital payment for the cash grant, and Guyana launches a new push to raise hospital standards nationwide.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyana Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Welcome back. A major logistics development could change how cargo is stored and cleared in Guyana. A new off-port bonded warehouse has opened in Guyana, in what Pass Cargo Guyana Incorporated says is a first-of-its-kind move aimed at improving cargo storage and clearance. The company says the facility is designed to help address long-standing challenges in the logistics sector by giving customers more flexibility and reducing pressure on port operations.
This facility offers secure access, spacious maneuverability for all the heavy trucking, etc., ease of parking, and has been designed intentionally with our customers in mind.
Narayan explained that operation will also include digital tools, including AI-supported services and the MyPass app to help customers manage shipments and documents more efficiently.
Pass Cargo to have AI as part of its services so that we can continue the innovation working together. But hot off the press, I'm told by ASA that we are launching our MyPass mobile app, which will further enhance cargo tracking and customer experience. So it gives all our customers the ability just from their phones or their mobile device to access the entire platform of our system and do everything. Check their cargo, give instructions, upload documents, etc., etc., etc.
The launch also included a tribute to the company's late local founder and director, Omdio Ramdio, whose family received a contribution in honor of his role in building the business.
Omdio was the driving force here in Guyana. He was the face of Pass Cargo, leading with strength, humility, and unwavering commitment. He navigated the challenges of building a business locally, supported our team, and implemented the systems and discipline that allowed Pass Cargo Guyana to grow and succeed.
With innovation, efficiency, and a nod to its founder, Pass Cargo's new facility could signal a smarter, faster future for Guyana's logistics sector. Central government employees have become the first group to receive the government's $100,000 cash grant, marking the start of a wider national rollout. Many recipients say the biggest improvement has been the direct transfer system, which allows the money to go straight into bank accounts instead of requiring long lines or repeated visits to collection points.
Definitely, it's a really great initiative, especially to offset the expenses incurred by some cost of living. I'm actually very grateful for the initiative that was implemented by the government. Especially when they chose to do the direct transfer into your bank account. That was very well received. It's more convenient rather than staying in long lines.
Others say the payment is already helping them meet expenses or move ahead with small personal and business goals.
My plans for the cash grant is to invest it in a business, and I'm very thankful. It's a bonus. I can get to where I'm heading faster.
Some also praise the convenience of being able to access the grant immediately once it is deposited.
Now you notice it go into your account. After your salary, you get it into your account. Like easy, just okay. You hear that your account, your cash grant reaching your account. You go and you check, and it's right there. Well, it's gonna help because I try my best to put it to use. Oh, well, if I tell you, I go in and buy 2-roll mesh and do mesh fence my yarn.
Meanwhile, Senior Minister with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashwin Singh, says official online portal for the cash grant is now in its final stages of testing. Once launched, citizens will be able to register, submit their information, complete verification, and receive payment directly, as the government expands the next phase of the initiative. Guyana is now shifting its healthcare focus from simply expanding access to improving the quality of care patients receive. That is the goal behind a new national initiative launched by the Ministry of Health in partnership with Mount Sinai Health System, aimed at strengthening hospital standards and patient safety across the country.
I think this is such an exciting initiative that is moving forward. Thinking about the national hospital quality and what Guyana is doing to ensure that each region has a hospital facility that can provide a top quality level of care is not only something that will be, of course, serving the people of Guyana, but I think also something that every one of you can be really proud of. We're so excited that you are taking this initiative to move forward with a new paradigm of what it looks like to deliver quality care at the hospitals in Guyana.
At the same time, a new digital mentorship platform is being rolled out to support healthcare workers, particularly in underserved communities. The Extension for Community Healthcare Outcomes, or ECHO platform, will connect local providers with international specialists through a collaborative all-teach, all-learn model. Dr. Catherine Kelly of Mount Sinai Hospital, who presented virtually at the launch, stated that the project will help to improve access to underserved communities.
So the ECHO model and a typical ECHO program consists of a hub team and spoke sites. The hub team, which in this case will be the Ministry of Health Chronic Disease Unit, consists of experts in a particular field, support staff, facilitators, and IT support. Spoke sites are peripheral sites or health centers around the country, often in rural or underserved areas, where participants are healthcare workers that are providing care in those communities.
Guyana's health system has expanded significantly in recent years, with more facilities and staffing added nationwide. But Health Minister Dr. Frank Andy says improving outcomes now depends on how care is delivered within those systems.
I think you would have heard on several occasions that we've been talking about introducing improved quality at our hospitals. And while we've been doing a lot of talking, this workshop is intended for us to start the implementation process. So we're moving away from just talk to getting into action.
The training initiative will introduce national standards, monitoring systems, and new structures aimed at improving patient safety and consistency across all regions. While the ECHO model aims to democratize knowledge, with the key outcome being transformation for healthcare infrastructure. 3 of the 4 persons on trial for the 2021 murder of Keon McPherson have been found not guilty, while a 4th has been convicted and is now awaiting sentencing. The verdicts were handed down last evening at the High Court in Demerara before Justice Gino Prasad, after a long and emotionally charged day in court. Brennan nurse Nicholas Hercules and Peter Lam were acquitted, while Devon Hari was found guilty. During final addresses, the defense urged jurors to closely examine the evidence and avoid speculation, while State Prosecutor Padma Braj argued that all four accused acted together and should be held equally responsible for McPherson's death. The jury then retired and deliberated for about 3 hours as relatives of both the accused and the deceased waited anxiously in and around the courtroom. When the verdicts were finally returned shortly after 9 p.m., there were loud cries, embraces, and visible relief from relatives of the men who were acquitted. But the reaction was sharply different on the other side. Relatives and supporters of Keon McPherson appeared distressed and dissatisfied, with tensions flaring as emotions spilled over following the decision. The case stemmed from an incident in which McPherson, 25, of Lot 687 D Field Sophia, was found dead in a yard at Seafield Sophia with gunshot wounds to his body. Devon Hari is expected to be sentenced on May 19th at the High Court in Demerara. When we come back, Guyana's cricket team says it is medal ready for Grenada. The Olympics moves to restrict the women's category to biological females. And Australia's cricket captain warns money could start pulling players away from the country.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
You're watching Night News on 6 at 6. Thanks for staying with us. Ghana's Karate squad says it is ready for Grenada and aiming not just for medals, but gold. Ghana's 2026 Karate track and field team says it is heading to Grenada with confidence and with its sights set on gold. Team manager Niall Stanton says expectations are high for the 24-member squad and believes the athletes are ready to deliver.
From the managerial point, I think the athletes are ready. We prepared. It's just for to go out and do what we have to do. The expectations is high. The kids want to come back with medals, but just not any color medals, but gold medals. And I think that because of the preparation